Book of Enoch, excluded from the Bible, unveils extraordinary mysteries about human history. It begins with a dire warning to humanity and the fallen angels who have turned the earth into a realm of corruption, violence, and sorcery. This massive and forbidden text was written approximately 200 years ago, with its earliest sections dating back to around 300 BC and the latest parts around 100 BC. Removed from Jewish and Christian biblical canons in the early centuries of the Common Era, it reveals secrets long ignored by the Church. According to these ancient writings, Enoch was described as the guardian of all the treasures of heaven, the chief of the archangels, and the immediate minister of the throne of God. The book speaks of fallen angels who sinned on earth, taking earthly women as partners and revealing divine secrets that humanity was not prepared to know. Its prohibition may have been influenced by its prophetic references to Christ himself. Enoch, a figure shrouded in mystery, is the son of Jared and a descendant of Adam from the 7th generation, making him the great-grandfather of Noah. His name translates to initiator, reflecting his role as a teacher and sage. Though the Old Testament briefly mentions him in Genesis 5:21-24, it confirms his existence, stating he lived 365 years and mysteriously walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. This enigmatic phrase has inspired numerous interpretations, including a legend suggesting Enoch is the biblical king and priest Melchizedek. Christian apocryphal literature often complements the canonical texts, offering explanations where Scripture is silent. Enoch is credited as the originator of writing and astrology, a prophet, and a religious teacher. His profound relationship with God earned him great respect among early church fathers such as Justin Martyr, Clement of Alexandria, Origen, and others. These figures often referenced the Book of Enoch, and in some cases advocated for its use as scripture. In Genesis, Enoch is presented as one of 10 patriarchs before the flood, each living for centuries. However, Enoch stands apart, as Hebrews 11:5 claims, he did not see death. Genesis further emphasizes his uniqueness by stating he lived only 365 years, significantly fewer than the other patriarchs who lived beyond 700 years. The account ends cryptically, noting that he was not, for God took him. Some theories suggest Enoch was taken alive into God's kingdom, becoming an angel, an interpretation linked to the phrase, he has not seen death. The Book of Enoch consists of 5 volumes, beginning with the story of the Watchers, written around 300 BC. It recounts the fall of the Watcher angels, who became the fathers of the Nephilim, as described in Genesis 6:1-4. This sacred and mysterious text continues to provoke questions about its influence and the truths it may contain. The text also recounts Enoch's journeys through the heavens. It begins with an introduction stating that Enoch was a righteous man whose eyes were opened by God to see the visions sent to him by the Holy One in heaven. Enoch was shown the sons of God and heard all things from them. He understood that what he witnessed was not for his generation, but for a future one yet to come. The narrative also describes God descending to earth on Mount Sinai with his armies to deliver judgment on humanity, emphasizing that all events are predestined by God and occur in his time. Sinners will perish, while the righteous will live in light, joy, and peace. The story details the fallen angels' interactions with humanity, led by Semjaza, who convinces 199 other angels to take human wives and bear children. Semjaza expresses fear of bearing the punishment alone But the angels bind themselves with mutual oaths to follow through with the plan. Together, the 200 descended during the days of Jared to Mount Hermon, naming it so because of the oaths sworn there. This union resulted in the birth of the Nephilim, or giants, described as being 300 cubits tall and responsible for widespread destruction and chaos on earth. The text also addresses the corrupting influence of the fallen angels on humanity, particularly Azazel, who taught men to craft weapons, armor, and ornaments, introduced them to metalworking, and revealed the use of cosmetics and precious stones. Wickedness flourished as other angels shared forbidden knowledge. Semjaza taught enchantments. Armoros taught the resolution of enchantments. Barakijal taught astrology. Kokabel taught about constellations. Ezekiel taught about clouds. Arakil taught about the earth's signs. Shamsul taught about the sun. And Sariel taught the course of the moon. This corruption led to fornication, straying, and widespread moral decay. In response, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel appealed to God to judge both the fallen angels and humanity. God instructed Uriel to warn Noah of the coming flood and guide him to prepare for the destruct.